Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see how that small, almost boring amount of money could quietly build freedom, options, and real wealth in your life. Let's be honest. When most people hear $100 a month, they think, that's nothing. That's not going to make me rich. That's not going to change my life. That's barely a car payment. And that mindset right there is exactly why most people never build wealth. Because wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It's built in quiet, consistent decisions. So let's talk about what really happens when you invest $100 a month. First, let's zoom out. $100 a month is $1,200 a year. That still doesn't sound exciting, right? But what if that $1,200 a year isn't just saved? What if it's invested? Historically, the stock market has returned around 7 to 10% annually over long periods of time. Now, nothing is guaranteed. Markets go up. Markets go down. But over decades, they have grown. So imagine you start investing $100 every month at age 25. You invest it into a simple low-cost index fund. You don't try to time the market. You don't chase hype. You just stay consistent. If that money grows at an average of 8% per year, by the time you're 65, you could have around $300,000. Let that sink in. $300,000 from $100 a month. And here's the crazy part. You didn't invest $300,000. You invested $48,000 over 40 years. The rest came from growth. From compounding. Compounding is the real magic. It's when your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns, and then those returns earn returns. It's like planting a small tree. At first, it barely grows. It looks unimpressive. You might even think nothing is happening. But underground, the roots are spreading. And over time, that tiny tree becomes something massive. The problem is most people quit before they see the tree grow. Now here's where it gets interesting. Let's say you wait. You don't start at 25. You start at 35. Same $100 a month. Same 8% return. But now you only invest for 30 years instead of 40. At 65, instead of $300,000, you might have around $150,000. You waited 10 years, and you lost roughly half. That's the power of time. Time matters more than the amount. This is why $100 a month isn't just about money. It's about starting early. It's about building the habit. It's about training your brain to think long term. Because here's what really changes your future: identity. When you invest $100 a month consistently, you stop being someone who wants to build wealth, and you become someone who actually does. You become the kind of person who pays yourself first. And that shift is powerful. Now let's talk about real life. Maybe you're thinking, I can't afford $100 a month. I get it. Life is expensive. Rent. Groceries. Gas. Bills. Unexpected emergencies. But here's the honest question. Is it really impossible, or is it about priorities? $100 a month is about $3.33 a day. That's a coffee and a snack. That's 1 or 2 fast food meals. That's a few subscriptions you forgot you even had. I'm not saying you need to live miserably. I'm not saying never enjoy your money. But I am saying this: your future self deserves at least $3 a day. Because imagine the opposite scenario. Imagine you don't invest anything. You tell yourself you'll start later. Years pass. Decades pass. Retirement approaches. And suddenly you realize you don't have options. You're forced to keep working. Not because you want to, but because you have to. That's not freedom. Now let's flip it. Imagine you've been investing that $100 a month for years. You check your account one day and see 6 figures. You didn't inherit it. You didn't gamble. You built it. That changes how you feel. It changes how you negotiate at work. It changes how you handle emergencies. It changes the way you sleep at night. Money doesn't buy happiness. But financial security buys peace. And peace is priceless. And here's something most people don't realize. Once you start investing $100 a month, it usually doesn't stay $100. As your income grows, you increase it to $150. Then $200. Then maybe $500. But the hardest part? It's not increasing the amount. It's starting. Let's also talk about opportunity cost. If you spend $100 a month on things that don't grow, you get temporary pleasure. A new gadget. A night out. A quick dopamine hit. But if you invest that same $100, you're buying future freedom. You're buying choices. Maybe that money becomes a down payment for a house. Maybe it helps you start a business. Maybe it allows you to retire early. Maybe it becomes a cushion that lets you take risks without fear. Every dollar has a job. And when you invest it, its job is to build more dollars. Now I want you to think long term. Let's say instead of 8%, you average 10% over decades. That same $100 a month could grow even more dramatically. The earlier you start, the more shocking the results become. And this isn't just theory. This is math. We underestimate what small amounts can do because we think linearly. We think, $100 a month for 10 years is $12,000. But investing doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows exponentially. It curves upward. That curve is what changes your life. But here's something even deeper. When you invest $100 a month, you're not just growing money. You're building discipline. And discipline compounds too. The person who invests $100 a month is usually the same person who starts reading about finance. The same person who learns about budgeting. The same person who avoids high-interest debt. The same person who thinks before making big purchases. One small habit triggers another. And before you know it, your entire financial life shifts. Let's talk about risk for a second. Some people avoid investing because they're scared. They've heard horror stories. Market crashes. Recessions. Losses. Yes, markets go down. But here's what history shows us: markets have always recovered over long periods of time. If you're investing $100 a month consistently, downturns actually help you. Why? Because you're buying when prices are lower. It's like your favorite store having a sale. Except instead of clothes, you're buying ownership in companies. The key is time. Short-term investing is risky. Long-term investing reduces that risk dramatically. Now imagine this. You start at 20 instead of 30. Even just $100 a month could potentially grow into hundreds of thousands more because you gave it extra decades. That's why I always say, don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Start small. Start messy. But start. And here's another angle. What if you invested $100 a month not just in the stock market, but in yourself? A course. A skill. A certification. A small side hustle. What if that $100 a month helped you increase your income by $500 a month in the future? Now the math changes dramatically. Because investing in yourself has unlimited upside. The key idea is this. Small consistent investments create massive long-term shifts. It's not about overnight success. It's about stacking advantages. Let me tell you something powerful. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and underestimate what they can do in 20. They want dramatic transformation. They want quick results. They want proof in months. But wealth rewards patience. Imagine planting $100 seeds every single month. You don't dig them up to check if they're growing. You don't panic when it rains too much. You don't quit when winter comes. You just keep planting. That's what investors do. And here's the part no one talks about. When you see your investments grow, something changes psychologically. You start thinking long-term in other areas too. You take care of your health because you're thinking about your future. You make smarter career decisions. You build better habits. Because now you believe in a future version of yourself. That belief is powerful. Now I want to be clear. $100 a month alone won't make you ultra-wealthy. It won't buy you a private jet. But it can build a foundation. And foundations are everything. Without a foundation, you're financially fragile. One emergency can knock you down. One job loss can cause panic. With a foundation, you have resilience. And resilience changes everything. Let's take it even further. Imagine couples both investing $100 a month each. That's $200 total. Over decades, that doubles the impact. Imagine parents investing $100 a month for a child starting at birth. By the time the child turns 18 or 21, that account could already be substantial. Time is the multiplier. And the earlier you start, the less you actually need to invest. That's the irony. People who wait end up needing to invest far more to catch up. Now think about your current age. Whatever it is. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is today. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. Set up an automatic transfer. Make it invisible. Make it non-negotiable. Treat it like a bill you owe to your future self. Because you do. And imagine 10 years from now, you watching this version of yourself. The version who decided to start. You'll either say, "Thank you," or "Why didn't you begin?" That decision happens with something as simple as $100. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 12 months, commit to $100 a month. Track it. Watch it grow. Learn as you go. Don't obsess over daily fluctuations. Think decades. Because the people who win financially are not necessarily the smartest. They're not the luckiest. They're the most consistent. And consistency with $100 a month can absolutely change your future.